I'd like to introduce now Irene Amato from ASAP Mortgage.
I have to make this really quick because he's going to keep giving me these numbers. So I'm going to start quickly and try to get this over in 15 minutes. For those of you who know me, it's not a really good thing for me. I like to talk a lot. So, I am here today to talk about the value of a mortgage broker. Does anybody know what a mortgage broker is? Yes? We're a mortgage broker. Nice. So, what is a mortgage broker? One of the questions that a lot of people just don't know the answer to. A mortgage broker is a licensed, independent loan originator. It's really important to emphasize license and independent. So we are licensed and we're past the state and federal tests. There are mortgage originators that work for the federally chartered institutions that are not licensed. That's really important because we're held to two different standards. So we've passed the state and federal tests. We're independent. What does independent mean? Are there any real estate agents in the room? Oh, hi. If you had to sell properties that were only listed by your company, how would you do? Not too good, right? How would you feel? Frustrated? Wouldn't really like your job that much and you wouldn't make as much money, right? Okay, so why would I want to do that and work for a bank, right? I don't want to do that. I want to offer as much of the products that I can to my clients because I wouldn't be doing them a good service if I didn't. So we are connected to multiple lenders and we have the options to put them in whatever box they fit in, right? We don't have to put them in the box that a particular lender has. Makes sense, right? We force the lenders to be competitive because if I'm sending someone's file and I have 5 different outlets to send that file to, do you think that that makes me and the client in charge a little bit, right? Instead of me having the client goes to their bank and they have one product, one choice, file gets put in, and that's it. How does a mortgage broker get paid? I know, everyone thinks we make like tons of money. No, we make money, we get paid. We don't work for free, I swear, I don't. But we get paid just like you do, real estate agents. We get paid on a commission. So I think that's a good thing to get paid on a commission because what do you do when you get paid on a commission? You work harder, you care more. You don't get paid till the closing, right? Well, most agents pick up their check at the closing. We don't get paid till a couple days after the closing. So we are with them from start to finish, and not just because of how we get paid, but just for the record, we don't add any extra fees. I know that's a big myth. We don't add any extra fees, so there's no added fees, just added value. Okay? What are the benefits of a mortgage broker? We simplify transactions. So what does that mean? Less paperwork. We do it all day, every day. Right? All day, every day, we do mortgages. I eat, sleep, and breathe mortgages. We know every product that's available, so we don't just have to know the products of one bank, we know the products of all of our banks. So a client comes to us, not only do we know exactly what paperwork is needed for them to get approved, we're not going to ask you to give us a blood sample and 10,000 bank statements. Okay? We're going to ask you for what is necessary to get your file approved. Sometimes you give too much information, and then the bank is required to keep asking you for more documentation because you've given them a statement from last July, and now they need, you're closing your mortgage a year later. So you have to be careful with what you give because what you give is what you're going to get, right? We know what to give. We know what to sift through. We give you a list of items needed. You give us those items needed, 99% of the time, we're going to get your file clear to close without asking you for anything else. So we're the lender liaison. Again, I go back to the relationship we have with the lender. So if you didn't have a relationship with the lender, yeah, I know, people have a relationship with their bank. So they seem to think that this is this great relationship with the mortgage side of it. No, it's not. We have that relationship because we work together. They get paid when we get paid when you get paid. Get that? It's a little circle, right? So they're gonna talk to us faster. You're at a closing and I have an agent that calls me from the closing or an attorney that they don't have funds yet. I'm on the phone that second with one of our reps that might be in this room now, and we're getting that funded right away. Expedite. So a mortgage broker can clear a file in 6 days. And I'm not kidding. I'm not just saying that. For those of you who know me, I don't say things I don't mean, and I mean it. We can close a file in 12 days. Clear to close. Anybody in the room have a file that has gone to a bank and gotten declined? And then it throws the whole transaction out of whack, right? So if you're the listing agent, now what happens? You gotta think about putting that property back on the market, what's gonna happen. We can switch a file instantaneously. So if you go to a bank, they're not gonna, I don't think a large lender is gonna send your bank to another large lender, do you? I think that might be a problem for them. Yes?
Banks accept your credit report, so they don't have to do anything.
I can't hear you.
The banks accept your credit report, so they don't have to do anything.
Good point. Right. We only have one credit report. We submit that credit report to all of the different lenders. And what I think is more important is we have a file. We just make a copy file of that and send it to another lender, right? Negotiate. So we simplify, we expedite, and now we negotiate. So how do we negotiate? Well, we talked about that, right? Competitive pricing. We can put your file with maybe 3 different lenders. So we're gonna find out now what lender has the best pricing. What lender has the best service? Because sometimes pricing, the big misconception is I have clients that shop for their rate when they're getting a pre-qualification. That rate's not going to be the rate they're going to get when they close the loan because it's not locked in, they don't have a property. Shopping a rate is one of the worst things a borrower can do before they even have a property because that's not going to be their closing rate. And that anybody in this room knows, right? So I tell clients, and I have clients all day that say, well, this person gave me this rate and this one, shop the professional. When you shop the professional, you're going to get the entire transaction, right? Agents in here again, I'm sorry, I'm picking on you, but did you ever have that house that the client wants to sell and you go in to do your evaluation and they tell you their house is worth $600,000 and they want to put it on for $600,000. But you know your comps and your work, that house is worth $500,000, right? Do you put it on for 5 or 6? Huh? So you put it on, well if you put it on for 6, what it's not worth, what's gonna happen, Dorothy? It's not gonna sell. So what have you done? You haven't given your confidence of what you know in your profession. You've actually let the consumer drive, but the consumer called you to be the expert. So that's kind of really not what you want to do. So if you are going to list that house at $500,000 and it may go over asking, right? It might, but you're the expert and you took charge and you have a serious confidence level to know that if you take that at $600,000 and it doesn't sell, it's going to destroy your reputation, right? Same thing as us. We work on our reputation. So if a client comes to us and we give them a rate, that's the rate we try to obtain. Now we can't do that until they're locked in, but everything we sell is upfront, honest, and transparent because that client is going to be the one that's going to refer us. When you close a transaction, this is what they do when it's good, right? Right? When it's bad, what do? This is what they do. Two hands, that's what they do. And it doesn't matter, by the way, if you're the real estate agent or you're the mortgage broker, or the loan originator or the bank, if you recommend someone and that transaction goes south, I got news for you, you're there too. You're right in that mix. So be careful who you're recommending. Make sure it's someone that has the same values and ethics as you do, okay? Because that's your reputation as well as theirs. So we negotiated. Most lenders have one box, and in a mortgage broker's world, there is no box. I took a personality test once, and it told in this girl's world, there is no box, and that's true, because not everybody fits in one. Everybody has different wants and needs. If you have a client that needs to close in 12 days, maybe you can get them a better rate, an 1/8% better, but the bank is going to take 100 days to close that loan. That's really, you can get it, but is it going to be able to be the loan they close with? No, because they need to close in 12 days. So it's transparency, and you explain to the client, this is what I have, this is what is going to close. So In a broker's world, the best way that I can put it is we deliver an experience, not just a transaction. It's a relationship, it's an experience, and we're there just as much as the agent is there, and we develop that relationship with the agents, the clients, and then it becomes a team working for them. And that team is priceless. Nothing you can't put a price tag on it. Any questions? Because I just got the 5 minute hand. Any questions? Scaring me down there. Any questions? Yes.
What's the difference with a pre-qualification
Oh, I like that.
and a pre-approval?
Okay. Anthony, Bob, anyone feel free to chime in on this, but I don't call my pre-qualifications pre-approvals because I feel it's a misleading word to use. I've been told by Wilda Ricketts that that's not an appropriate word. Does anybody want to chime in on that? I call them pre-qualifications. I don't care what they're called. It could be a commitment, it could be a pre-qualification, it could be a pre-approval, it could be anything you want it to be. As the agent, read what's in the body of the letter. That's your best thing to do. Doesn't matter what it's called. Make sure that the professional is true and they know what they're doing and they've covered all bases so that you're not taking a client out for a property they can't afford.
The agent in my office is dealing now with giving a he got a pre-qualification.
That's what I get.
And the agent on the other end, the seller's agent, said, I can't use that, I need a pre-approval.
Yeah, that's when I call them up and I explain it.
And last night,
Yeah.
read what's in the box.
Exactly.
It's going to tell you what you need to get that.
And tell the mortgage professional that gave that to you, the pre-qual, tell them to call the listing agent and explain to them. I send my bio with the pre-qualification letter, and then I talk to them and I explain why I don't feel comfortable with it because I do feel it's misleading. A lot of consumers walk around and they think they have an approval, and it's not a commitment to lend. So, any other questions? No? Good? How many minutes did I do that in? I have 3 minutes left. Hold on, somebody ask a question. Anybody? No? Anthony, do you want to stand up a sec? Anthony is the president, right, of Association of Independent Mortgage Professionals. And Anthony, you want to talk for 2 minutes? You got 2 minutes. We got 3 actually, because they took one over. We got 3.5. 2.5. 3.5. 2.5. I'm a good negotiator. Never back at Sally in.
Thanks. I wasn't really prepared to speak, but anybody dealing with Redfin or any of these online real estate companies? Are you? What's the general consensus about those outlets? Huh? They're cheaper, but what about the quality of the experience? What kind of professionalism is that real estate experience going to be for the customer? Is it going to be as good as the experience that the realtors in this room offer?
Depends on the agent they're working with.
Could be.
And it's different.
It's different. It's different. It's not personalized. It's not intimate. It's very different. So if I had to say anything to you guys about the value of a mortgage broker, it's understanding that you're dealing with experience here. It's just like you guys. You guys have a true value. People tell me realtors are going to go away. Realtors are not going to go away. They have too much value, and your home sale is way too important for you to commoditize it and put it down to, hey, the cheapest bidder. It's way too much. There's way too much value there. So, oh, sorry. Again, I always look at everything, the question about the pre-approval. The pre-approval, pre-qualification, all that stuff matters. The only thing that matters is the person that's issuing it. Did they do their due diligence? Did they make sure it's really of quality? So when I talk about mortgage brokers, you're dealing with somebody, especially in this market where there's so many things that could go wrong in New York as far as different parties that are involved in the transaction and how much you really need a centralized person that's the quarterback of the transaction. That's what the mortgage broker does for you. They're the one that's dealing with the seller's agent, buyer's agent, the seller's attorney, the buyer's attorney. There's so many moving parts, and I can assure you, some 9-to-5 guy, whether it's Quicken Loans or Better Mortgage or any of these online mortgage providers that are out there, they're not doing that. They're not dealing with the stress and anxiety that people that are in the hustle and the grind deal with. And that's what mortgage brokers are. That's what real estate brokers are. So to me, I would evaluate the people that you work with based upon their experience, their reviews, their track record, because it means something in this business. So right now specifically, there's a lot of technology coming in the industry, and we're on the right side of that as well. But above and beyond, the most important thing to every real estate agent in this room is the ability to deliver and close your deals. And I think from our perspective, that's the story that the mortgage broker is going to be telling over the next couple of years is no matter what, we're not issuing a pre-approval for a customer that's not going to close. That's not going to happen. This isn't a numbers game, it's a quality game. If we issue a pre-approval, you spend 2 months showing them houses and then they don't close, death penalty. All right, that's it. Thank you guys, I appreciate it.
I don't know about Anthony, but I am not on a football team. If you've seen me without these shoes, I'm all about like 4'11". So thank you very much for coming.